to another episode of Woman Witness Podcast, The Stories at the Well. I'm your host, Leah Fortier. Here on this platform, we bring to you voices of women who are out there making a difference in their lives, in their communities, in the world around them. Today, I'm bringing you a very special voice that's going to remind us that you can turn your pain into purpose. But before I introduce my guest today, I'm going to read a little bit about her. Today, we are speaking with Artina Moore. She is an author, a motivational speaker, and currently the host of a motivational segment every Monday on Black Gospel Radio. Her focus is on self-empowerment with a deep passion for guiding and supporting women in overcoming life's obstacles. Her mission is deeply personal, stemming from the challenges she faced in her own life. These experiences have inspired Artina's line of journals designed to assist women in conquering their own challenges. Among them is her latest devotional, Standing on His Promises. Artina's goal is to help individuals draw closer to God and navigate life's hurdles and transform their own pain into purpose. Today, we welcome our special guest who will be talking about the importance of turning your pain into purpose and how women can channel these life's challenges to navigate towards God's blessing and live an abundant life. I want you guys to all welcome my special guest today, Artina Moore. Artina, welcome to the Well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. When I seen your inquiry form come across, I was just blown away. I'm so grateful that God continues to bring women to this well who are pouring from a place that is deeply rooted in their passion and in their purpose. So I thank you for coming here to this well today. I know I read a little bit about you, but tell us who you are.
So I am Artina Moore, and like you said, author, motivational speaker. I am the mother, of course. That is my main title. Mother.
Yes,
I have a daughter who is 26, but no matter how old they get, they're still your
still
baby.
your baby. Yep.
I still see the ponytails, the little
Aw.
pigtails over. So I'm a mother, 26-year-old daughter. Like I said, I do motivational speaking. I do have the segment More Motivation Mondays on Black Gospel Radio. I am the author of 3 women's empowerment journals with a new book coming out pretty soon that I co-authored with 19 other women.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Now, Archana, did you always know that this would be your purpose and your plan to become a motivational speaker, to be an author? What stemmed this new look on life, on moving in your purpose?
When you're younger, you don't really know what this thing is that you have, and it's like an issue. So I was the one who wanted to tell everybody everything back in the day. Like I was the one with all of the advice, and it didn't come out as such back in the day, when I was younger. But as I grew, I think that that's what the purpose is. Going through life challenges, a specific struggle I'll name, I at a stage of my life I lost everything back to back, my life, my house, my car, my job. Everything was kind of just like ripped from under me at one time, at once. Of course, I know what God's plan was when in hindsight. At the time, I didn't know what was happening. And as I began to rebuild my life, I tried to rebuild, and then my mother passed away. And so I'm just in the middle of this trying to get things back together. And then my father passed away 8 months later. So, I didn't know. To me, that was rock bottom. Everything, that I had, was gone in my eye because I didn't quite see what God's plan was yet. But my mother always said, Tina, you have a book in you to write. When she passed away, I realized one day I just heard it. The book would be a motivational journal to help women overcome struggles, but it was supposed to help me first. So I took the steps and I followed them. And it took me about 3 years to actually write the book because I was living in doubt. I didn't realize
Yeah.
I have to take this out there and help other people. Basically, what helped me to realize it was going through life challenges.
Yeah.
One of the biggest struggles of my life, actually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's interesting, and I know you're gonna probably get into it. You said before, right before your mom passed, she told you you had a book in you.
Mhm.
That's a lot. Now, did your mom write? Was
She
she a writer?
didn't. No, she didn't. My mom was the go-to person for it. She was an apostle, and she was the go-to person for advice. You
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, you tell me. I have to hear more about that because I
Yeah.
feel like and I'm not going to just pinpoint it for people. Maybe, perhaps, I'll talk about myself. I don't
Mm.
think that I grew up around people who would tell me things like, "You have a book in
Yeah.
you." Excuse me. And I, just hearing you say that lets me know that your mom, she was in tune with what God's plans that He had for you.
Mhm.
And I think back, I wish somebody would have told me that.
Mhm.
Um, and looking back now, after writing 16 books myself,
Yeah.
I never thought that that was ever in me. So for your mom to
Yeah.
tell you that, I think that's amazing.
I think that was, it was a powerful thing to realize it afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I want you to explain why it's important for individuals, and particularly women, to turn their pain into purpose.
We are on this journey of life to have these challenges. So people often think we have a bad habit of thinking that we've done something wrong, when we
Yeah,
have challenges that we face, but it's really the journey. We're here to learn, to grow, and evolve. So it's important to take whatever your pain is something you can teach.
yeah,
Once you learn it, there's something you can teach others. And also, you're not the only one going through the experience. There's somebody coming behind you that will benefit from it. And so I am a believer in everything that we experience, you go through, you jump the hurdle, and now it's time for it's a testimony. So you go from test to testimony,
mm,
so that pain turns into purpose and power.
pain, purpose, and power. I love that. That's a triple piece. Okay, now give us your start by. Let me. I want to back this up a little bit and ask you. Tell us what is your definition of one's purpose?
I believe that your purpose is what you were put on this earth to do. You don't quite know it when you're born, of course, but it's what you were born to give to the earth, to the people, to other human beings. I feel like that is what your purpose is, and it's something that you don't have to feel like you're working. It's not a work; it's something you do naturally,
Yeah.
without any effort.
Yeah. Yeah, effortless. You just wake up and do it. You don't have to think about it. I think for so long, and I feel like, I don't know why, when you're going through these self-help, some of these self-help classes and coaching classes, they always start off with what's your purpose. And I believe that even when I started my own journey, I started off with a book, and I went through different areas of my life trying to figure out what my purpose is. And sometimes we get so hung up searching for this aha moment or this thing that makes you whole. And then you feel like once you find it, it's your purpose. But I hear what you said. Did you name the three P's? You said pain, purpose, and power. I found that my purpose stemmed from my pain, in which I became on the track to start being a witness and sharing. Okay, so I want to talk to you. I want to ask you, and thank you. That was so inspiring in helping us understand what our purpose is. Now, can you share some practical ways that women can channel their life's challenges into a navigation towards God's blessing and living abundant life?
I believe that it goes back to the purpose piece again about figuring out once you overcome a struggle,
Yeah,
about figuring out how you can use that to help other people.
yeah,
That's what I believe. How can
yeah,
you? It's like how can I use this to be a blessing to others? How
yeah.
can I give back? And that's the piece. That's the blessing piece.
Let me ask you, in your journals, I know that you, and I want to give my condolences and for you losing your parents. Are your where if I'm looking for that piece to help me turn my pain into purpose in your journals, what am I going to be able to find if I'm coming from maybe a loss, or coming from depression or anxiety, or a broken home, trauma? Am I going to be able to find some refuge and some guidance in those journals?
Yes. So my first journal, the it's Makeup for the Soul. It's a 21-day self empowerment journal.
Hmm.
That journal takes you through steps for 21 days.
Mhm.
that will be able to help you to overcome whatever the challenges that you're facing at that time. It's a guided journal, so it gives you the steps.
Mhm.
So whatever your challenge is, you'll be able to go through that journal and get assistance with that.
I love it. So what stage in life were you in your journey when you wrote that?
That was right after my parents had passed and I was rebuilding my life. It started out as something I was doing for myself. And
Yeah.
then, I heard that's the book, turned it into a journal. My self-doubt made me question it for about a few years. But
Yeah.
once I finally got my feet on level ground, I turned it into a journal because I saw the outcome for myself. I
Yeah.
saw the outcome.
How long did it take?
To write overall,
No. How long did it take for that journey of healing?
I'm still on it. But to get to this place, it took about, I would say about 4, maybe 5 years. But grief never changes. But it took about 4 years maybe to finally get to a place where I was comfortable and say, okay, I know that I've overcome, I've evolved to a place where I can help other people.
Yeah. I asked you that question, Artina, because I know that we have a lot of listeners that are in different stages of their lives and they may be experiencing different types of grief. And to hear that you wrote this in a place of healing, it helps me to be able to say to someone who's listening, this would be a good journal for you because this helped Artina get through or to navigate her way to abundant life or to be able to look at the picture in a different way. So I love, and if you can, I can tell you, I do have friends who are listening who lost parents in a very short time frame, just like you. And if you, and right now you're 4 years post that, right? If you were able to talk to them in this moment or talk to any of the listeners that are listening, what would you tell them?
A lot of people don't understand this. Some people don't, but I always say it regardless because whoever it's supposed to reach it will. One thing I always want you to remember is that your parents are still with you. They can do more for you where they are than they could when they were here. And it's a hard realization, but just remember that they want you to continue with your life. They want you to continue to press forward and do the best that you can because losing, unfortunately, is a part of turning your pain into purpose. Loss and grief is a part of that. And that's something that I learned.
Mm, mm,
It's a
mm.
hard piece, but it's a piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that, Artina. I really do, and I think that your advice it will definitely carry a lot of people who are in that place right now where they can't see that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can't see that. So, what journal was that again?
That is Makeup for the Soul. It's a 21-day self empowerment journal.
Okay.
Mhm.
I want to put that in the description. So everyone, please, if you think that this can help you, I want you to grab it. I want to thank you for sharing those practical steps. So, in your personal experience, how have you seen women transfer their pain and the purpose into living an abundant life?
I have friends who have been through domestic violence and they work at domestic violence shelters, where they help other women overcome. I know, females who have gone through sexual abuse as children, and now they're helping other women and helping children who've, gone through trauma. I have friends who become therapists, and who are helping people to overcome anxiety. So I've watched, a lot of women just transform their pain into purpose, and it always comes through serving other people.
Yeah, I like that. I've been saying this often. I feel like that has been my word for the year serving, servitude. I feel like it's far too easy sometimes for us to just sit in our own pain, if you will. And I had to do my own work, Artina. I've had I had my own trauma that I had to deal with, and being able to fight through some of those fight through a lot, let's be honest, a lot of that trauma and put it out there for me to deal with first and for me to heal and then be able to turn it into purpose and being and when like you said when you're serving someone else it becomes easier for some reason. And speaking of serving someone else, let me talk to you about when you do your Monday inspirationals on the gospel station, radio station. Where do you find those pieces? What gives you the topics to talk about and talk through?
The honest to God truth about this
Yeah.
is whatever I'm experiencing. If I am experiencing something, or it's normally, I pray about it and I do my recordings and I just say, what am I going through? Because I always know there's someone else who needs that. So I use my own experiences. That's where I pull from.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's really really good. Thank you so much. Okay, so before we end this conversation, I want you to tell us about the book that you just wrote. You wrote the book Standing on His Promises. We already spoke about the Make It for Your Soul, which I think is amazing. I want you to talk about Standing on His Promises.
So Standing on His Promises is a journal that was created. I went through a health challenge, and I had a surgery. It just a random health challenge that I do speak about in the newest book coming out. And I just felt like the world was caving in on me. I went through a procedure where I had a surgery and it damaged one of my vocal cords. And so I was just,
Oh my God.
laying in my hospital bed. And I promise you, I was reading the scriptures. Of course, I pray and do my scriptures before the surgeries and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
was laying in recovery. And I just heard, stand on his promises. God makes you promises and you have to stand on them. Of course,
Mm,
at that moment, I didn't know it was a journal.
no.
But after I got out of the hospital, I continued. I'm like, what does that mean? So I looked up, I went to review the promises of God, as many of as I could possibly find. And then I realized over the summer that this would be a journal. And I created the journal to help other people overcome and to realize no matter what you're facing, to stand
Yeah.
on stand on his promises. Because
Yeah.
never go void.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, okay, let me start by saying I'm so glad and I'm so
Mhm.
grateful that God pulled you through that surgery and you have your vocals back.
Partially. Yeah,
Partially back.
partially.
Wow. And since then, did you then become a motivational speaker and start really using your voice? Or was this
So I was already a motivational speaker, which was the reason why it was so traumatizing. I've been speaking for over 10 years.
yeah,
And so I had this have the surgery and I can't speak afterwards.
yeah.
And I'm like, what's
What
going
you did?
on? And it's like, okay, God. So you go through those moments where you're like,
Yeah,
God, what are you doing? What are
right,
you doing? What are you doing? And
right.
because my voice is part
It's
of my
your
purpose.
absolutely.
So I'm like, this is ridiculous. So no, I was already a motivational speaker and I just knew to keep pressing,
Yeah.
and to keep pressing because I'm still in the healing journey for that as we speak.
Yeah, because you remember God's promises over your life and over your voice. I feel like even sometimes, and I just want to use this and talk about even with your book about God's promises, because I feel like sometimes the enemy will attack you in the ways that is your purpose, right? And you're just trying to figure out where to find God in all of it. So I want you all to even understand, like, even I think about, marriages, I think about children, I think about our ministries, I think about, the areas that the enemy tries to attack. And I think about what you just said, Artina, as far as remembering his promises. And I'm sure you leave scriptures in there for maybe perhaps if you're listening and you are not well versed in the Bible, you're like, well, where's God's promises? Where do I find it? I'm pretty sure that you can get this book and start reading them. And then when you read them, you will remember them and they will be in your heart and let you know that God has not left you or forsake you. Oh, I get excited. Okay, that's good. That's good, Artina. That's good, 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 good. Okay, one more thing. Tell us about the last book, Gossip with God.
So Gossip with God was a journal that I created, and that was in my midpoint. We have a tendency to talk about things with everyone else. You're going to your girlfriends, you're in the hair salon, you're in the nailery, and a lot of times we don't get the resolve that we need because everyone's going through their own thing. So I just feel like, if you talk to God, of course he already sees everything, right? Have a space in that journal where you can write out everything that's happening, and then you can create a prayer. This is what I need to come from this. Please, God, show me the way. What should I do about this situation? Take it to God. Gossip with God about it, and He sees it all anyway. Why not just talk to him? He's not going to judge you because he already knows what's happening. That way, you can pray and get some clarity. And then I provide a motivational. For each day, there's a motivational quote in that journal as well.
I like that. I like that. If you think about it, ladies, think about how much time we actually spend on the phone talking about things that other people have no control over. Right? Because number one, we don't have control over them. Because if we did, we would go ahead and already figure it out. We wouldn't be talking to you about it. But I love this so much, Artina, because you're right. We're supposed to bring our burdens and our cares and lay them all at the altar and say, Lord, help me with this. Show me your way. Show me your will. Because I don't know what to do with this. And he'll show you your what? Purpose.
He'll show you
Well,
everything. That's your first best friend. God is your first friend.
come on. I love it so much. Okay, Artina, that was good. That was really good. I think I can really find some use in all of these journals. And and I think you don't have to, and I feel like sometimes people think, oh, when you get these journals, you have to be going through something. You have to. No,
No,
perhaps it's go ahead. No, go ahead.
no, I was agreeing with you. No, you don't have to be going
Yeah.
through anything.
No, you don't. I think even perhaps by even writing, journaling, doing some of these journals may bring something out of you that you didn't even know was in you. Just saying, putting it out there. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us here on the well today, Artina. Artina, before we get out of here, I want you to leave some motivation, leave some pain to purpose to power. I probably said that out of order, but leave some of our listeners with something to take with them throughout the week.
So I just want you to know that everything that you need, you already have within. No more self doubt. Look yourself in the mirror and realize that, everything that you need, you have within. You are equipped. God has brought you into this earth with everything that you need. And I want you to be your biggest cheerleader. Motivate yourself, affirm yourself, be kind to yourself, encourage yourself, and be sure to uplift yourself every day, you know, and you'll be able to make it through. You'll be able to make it through because you're here. You're built for it. You're here to do so.
I love that so 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 much, Artina, and I love the positivity, and I think we all could take a little bit of that, take a lot of it. Let's be honest, and because I think we do spend too much time self doubting ourselves, too much time overthinking things, and sometimes we can get in our own ways. But thank you, Artina. We got it. You got it. We all got it. It's within us. Take it and run with this. Fight through that pain. Remember God's promises. And I promise you this. Take it from Artina, our guest here today, that He will turn it into your purpose. Okay. I want to I want to thank my special guest, Artina Moore, for joining me here at Woman Witness Podcast, The Stories at the Well. Thank you for pouring. Thank you for sharing with us your journey. And thank you for sharing with us your books. And we will take all of your books and all of your information that you shared today, add it into our description. And please, guys, pick up these books. Follow Artina Moore on social media. And if you have any questions for her, you'll be able to reach out to her. I will leave all her information in the description below. And I want to thank you all, ladies, for joining us on another episode of Woman Witness Podcast. If you believe that you have a story that you want to tell or you want to share, we ask that you just email us at info@womanwitness.com. That's info@womanwitness.com, or you can visit our website at www.womanwitness.com. And we thank you all for tuning in. If you were blessed by this episode, we ask that you share it. We ask that you like and you subscribe, follow us on social media, and perhaps, just maybe perhaps, you were chosen for such a time as this to write, to tell your story, your truth. Until next time, bye.